In this section, we will start exploring TypeScript data types such as tuples, literal types, arrays, and more. In this video, we're going to discuss the variables and types in TypeScript. TypeScript got its name from being a strongly typed language. That's why it's called TypeScript, because as you may know that JavaScript is not a strongly typed language. Let's go ahead and see how to use variables and different types in TypeScript. So here we have the same structure. We have the TS file, the JS, and the index.html, and we have the script in the body pointing to the app.js, and we have the feature of the auto compilation enabled through the Visual Studio, as we have seen in an earlier video. So to define a variable in TypeScript, we use the keyword let. Then we give it the variable name, maybe username, and then we add colon and add the type. And don't forget the semicolon at the end. So that's how you basically define a variable of type string. Let, username, colon, and the type of this variable. And you can go ahead and start assigning some values to this variable. Username, I'm going to add maybe my name. Go ahead and add a semicolon, and here it is. It's basically somehow like a C# language. If you'd like to see this, we can go ahead and print it in the console. So console.log, I'm going to display the user name. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. As you can see, here it is. Here is the value that I have assigned. If I changed it to maybe Jennifer, as you can see, I'm saving and it is auto-compiling. So here it is. Now it's displaying Jennifer. I can go ahead also and concatenate this username with a string of my choice, as you would expect in a C# language, for example, in a .NET framework. So I can go ahead and tell it console.log, and I'm going to type hello, and I'm going to add a plus, which is going to concatenate the hello in here. I'm going to add a space so that there is a space between hello word and the username. Let's go ahead and take a look at our page. Refresh, and you will see hello Jennifer. Before we continue, I would like to show you something that if I remove this string from here and the colon, the app is going to work. If I go back and refresh, everything's going to work as expected without a problem. But what did this mean? If you did not assign a data type to the variable, TypeScript is going to assume that this variable is of type. If we hover over the name, it's going to be of type any, as you can see in here. If I roll back to the string and hover over the username, it's going to be of type string. So if you did not specify the variable type, it's going to be of type any, and it's going to work without a problem. But again, it's better to specify a type for your variables. That's why we use a strongly typed language, such as the TypeScript, of course. Let's go ahead and continue discovering our data types. So we can go ahead and use a number, for example. So I can come in here and let's try to assign a number to the username. So if I try to username equal 1, as you can see, TypeScript is going to complain. It's telling me the type 1 is not assignable to type string. And that's what you would expect in a C# in a .NET framework. This is a string, this is a number, and it's not going to accept to assign it unless I remove this string in here. And now, as of this being type any, it's going to accept any type. And I remove the feature of being a strongly typed language. Now my variables are accepting any types. Okay, I'm going to go back to the string now. Now there is back, as you can see. I can go ahead and solve this by adding a single quote, adding the 1 at the string. But I'm not going to use it. To comment this line, it's like a C#, of course. You can go ahead and add the / 2 times, and this line is going to be commented. I'm going to define a new variable, and I'm going to specify the type using a different technique. So I'm going to type let number1 equal 10. Now if I check the type of the number1 variable, it's going to be number. it's not going to be any, because I added a number when I am declaring the variable itself. Now TypeScript know that this is already a number because I set a number to it as I'm declaring it. If I did this in a separate line, number 1, now it's going to be of type any. Hope that you get this. Okay, let's go and make this here, take this space so that TypeScript is not complaining. And I can go ahead and define another number. Let number 2 of type number. This is the name of the number that I type. It's just simply called number. And I can even go ahead and assign it to a number, as you can see. And now TypeScript's not complaining, but it's telling me that it's already know that this is a number since I set it to a number, as you can see in here. So it's already inferred it, so no need to set this here. It's telling me that you can go ahead and remove this, but I'm just showing you the different techniques. So I can go ahead and perform operations on this. So console.log number 2, for example, maybe plus number 1, as you would expect in a C#.NET. Let's go ahead and take a look at the page right now. I know it's not much, but as we're proceeding, I'm going to discover more capabilities and features of the TypeScript. So let's refresh the page, and here it is. We have 15. It is the addition of 10 and 5. Okay, can go ahead also and maybe multiply this by 2 and then add it to number 1. Let's go take a look at the result. It's 20. That's totally correct, because now it's 10 plus 10 because 5 multiplied by 2. That's basic math. We have also a Boolean data type, which is very interesting. You can go ahead and set a new variable. I'm going to call it isActive equal false. And if I check the data type right now, it's going to be Boolean. Again, I can go ahead and define it using this. Let is free Boolean, as you can see. So this is the 2 ways. It's almost identical as the string and the numbers, the same declaration types. And I can go ahead and display the value of the isActive. When I choose something that is not really related, TypeScript of the Visual Studio is very smart. It imported a file. I'm going to discuss this later, but right now let's remove it. And be careful what you're typing in here, because this is very sensitive. So let's go ahead and check it again to see what the isActive has. It has a false, as you would expect in here. Can I go ahead and set it to 1? Let's check it. It displayed 1, but is it a Boolean? No, it's not a Boolean, it's a number. TypeScript doesn't understand 1 as true, 0, or false. So if I try to set this as a Boolean, it's going to complain. It's now telling me that I'm assigning an int or a number to a Boolean, and it's not going to work. 0 is not going to work, but true is going to work. Okay, and again, it's telling me that it already knew that this variable is going to be of type Boolean, as I set the true to it. No need to define it, so I can go ahead and remove it or not remove it. It's up to you. Let's go ahead and see if it works back. And here it is. It's playing true. We have also another interesting keyword that we can use. It is the constant. And I know that you're probably familiar with a constant. It means that the variable is not going to change once it is declared. So I can go ahead and type, for example, employee name, and I'm going to set it to maybe John. If I try to set the employee name to something else, like my name, for example, now TypeScript is complaining and telling me cannot assign to employee name because it is a constant. Okay, that's something that you need to take care of. In some cases that probably you're going to need to use the constant. In my opinion, I don't use it that frequently, but as you can see, that's going to help you in some situations. And as you can see, Visual Studio is now turning everything red and it's giving you an error. If I commented this, everything is going to be green and good to go, as you can see in here, which is a great feature of the Visual Studio Code, and it is for free. If you have a problem like this in here, the TypeScript is going to be compiled to JavaScript without a problem. But TypeScript-wise, that's an error, that's a mistake. But Visual Studio Code is still going to compile it to a JavaScript, as you can see in here. Let's go ahead and fix it. And display the empty name, and that would be the last thing we do in here for now. So go ahead and display the name, and here it is. So that would be it for now. I know that's not much, but we have to start from the very basic concepts until we reach some advanced and new concepts for you.